Hello, I'm Sydney Rainne. Welcome. Today's video is in response to a question that was asked by one of my subscribers. It's a question from Agape Love 77. What is your honest assessment of older adults going back to college or university? Do you think this is a good idea? Someone in their 30s, 40s, and even 50s going back to school may seem upsetting to some particularly young people. There are many challenges for young people going to school, but older adults, you would have double the challenges. Thank you for posting. You are so talented and seem to be such an intelligent young person. Oh, thank you so much, Agape Love 77. I appreciate that. So, I believe that people at any age should definitely go for their dreams. Whatever you can do to, improve the quality of your life, even if it's a sacrifice, I think it's worth it. I look back on my college experience many years ago, believe it or not, because black don't cry. I remember being in undergrad and there being several older adults, and we didn't care. There was no negativity towards them. Like, you're here to get your education just like I'm here to get my education. I thought that this video and this time would be better spent hearing from an older adult who did this. And learning from her experiences. So I decided to call up one of my really good friends' mothers, because I know that she went back to school at University of North Carolina at Wilmington a few years ago. And I remember hearing that she had had some interesting experiences while she was there. So I decided to give her a call and ask her to tell you all more about that experience. So here's that interview. Her name is Miss Dierdre Parker. I call her Miss Dee Dee. So I hope that you enjoy it. Oh, thank you so much, Miss Dee Dee, for joining me on this call. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I am a mother, a grandmother, an ordained minister, a spoken word artist.
So how old were you when you went to UNCW?
UNCW initially, I was 46.
Why did you choose that time to go?
So I was just getting divorced. My children were like in high school or college, and it was just time for me to make my future better. I wanted to change my own life, and a new career was the way to do it.
What was your major while you were there?
Oh, psychology.
Oh, cool. What were the challenges that you faced being in school?
I faced a myriad of challenges, not even to mention like being the oldest person in class, sometimes including the professor, the generation gap between me and my students, but there were also financial concerns. So much so that I ended up losing my primary residence, and I spent some time in a homeless shelter, which actually prompted me to live on campus.
Okay.
So that was a uniquely awesome experience. It created awe in my life, not necessarily in a good way.
What was it like being in school and being in a homeless shelter at the same time?
So it was really weird just being in a shelter, because it is like you see a whole different part of the world that you can never even imagine unless you're there. And you interact with people that are varying ages and varying socioeconomic statuses, varying mental health statuses, and dependency on chemicals. And it's just a very eclectic mix, to say the least, of people. So trying to be able to concentrate, I tell people this all the time, it was through faith and grace that I made it through that episode.
Wow. Well, I'm really glad that you made it through that episode. What were the advantages of being on campus once you moved to campus?
Well, the main advantage of being on campus was that I no longer had to worry about things like, am I going to be able to pay for my Wi-Fi? Even though Hawk Wi-Fi sucked, it was free, well, a part of my tuition, and, room and board, and really my stress level just went way down in that area, as far as, just the hierarchy of needs, if you will, as Maslow says. just the basic things were no longer an issue for me.
So what were some of the challenges of living on campus?
At the time I moved on campus, I was 49. And I was living among 20, 21, 22-year-olds in a predominantly white institution. So we really had absolutely nothing in common. And oftentimes in a predominantly white institution, the students don't like having Black roommates as it is. Then you got a Black roommate that's somebody's grandma. So, that was just doubly, it was just doubly difficult. And I let it be known, I'm not here to be your mom. I don't care who you're sleeping with. Long as you don't wake me up, we good to go. Trying to get my degree.
How were you treated by the younger students and the faculty on campus?
It was very interesting. Some of them, the first set of roommates that I had, they were very rude. They were very disrespectful. And then they all moved out, which was fine with me because I was living in the quad. I had the whole thing to myself for the summer. And then I got new roommates, and the new roommates were great. And they were mostly Hispanic girls, and we all got along great. We cooked together. We had lots of conversations. They came to me for advice sometimes, and it was cool. Everything was cool. But then I moved to another dorm because I ended up doing one more semester than I thought I would have to do. And so I didn't reserve my room, and I ended up in the freshman, sophomore area. And honey, when I tell you that was horrible, those little girls, they did what they always do. They tried to freeze me out. And I mean, literally and figuratively. Like, they didn't talk to me when I came in. They would turn their heads and not speak. But they also turned the air conditioner on, which did not bother me at all because, honey, I had my hot flashes to keep me warm. So I wasn't even worried about that. But, it was a challenge because they really tried to do things that they thought would cause me to switch rooms. But they didn't know who they was dealing with, honey, because I don't quit. I don't quit nothing. So, but, those were the challenges. But I had other challenges, like in the classroom, especially my minor was creative writing. Now, I've been writing poetry since I was 12 years old. And I had one professor who basically, the first time I workshopped the poem in her class, she said, "Oh, I can guarantee you that no one will ever remember that poem." Now, I've been doing it for too long at that point. I will admit that I did kind of ease up because I was being a little rough, and I was determined that they weren't going to change me. But when I relaxed and listened to what she had to say, it did help me become a better writer. But it did not stop my write using vernacular and all the color and the flavor that we have in our poetry. I did not allow them to, edit that out of me.
Are you in seminary now?
Yes, I am in seminary right now, and I absolutely love it. This is my second year. I'm in the first semester of my second year, and it's a small school, but it's actually, there's so much diversity, diversity of thought, diversity of ethnicities. Everybody's so very open-minded, which I really was not expecting. There are some people who aren't, but it is really stretching me. I'm growing, so I really enjoyed that. And I've had an opportunity to use my gifts. I wrote a play for Black History Month, which we did in chapel this past weekend. And one of my professors allowed me to have 30 minutes at the end of class to do my poetry. So it's really been a good thing for me.
How has that experience been different from your previous UNCW?
Yeah, night and day. At UNCW, I felt like a number. I felt like the only place that I could go to really feel connected was at the Upperman African American Cultural Center. That was like the bubble of where I could just go and just be Black, But at Hood, and it's interesting that the name of it is Hood. It's named after somebody whose last name was Hood, but it's so different because everybody's so welcoming, and everybody, even the people who are different from us, they want to learn, and I think it's because Christ is at the center of what we do. And so, everybody, it starts out from a place of love, and if they don't understand, they ask questions, and they ask questions in a way that it's not derogatory or condescending and stuff like that. So, and I've learned, like I said, I've learned to respect other ways of being and ways of believing because of the study there. So I'm not so understanding the formation of the canonical books that we have now, and understanding how much is crafted by human beings, then I am able to look at what I believe in a broader sense and not be so narrow-minded about people who don't believe like I believe. That's been for me the best part about being in seminary. And I think that anybody who comes there, and I've seen some people who actually come there and they're determined that they're not going to change their way of thinking. They're just going to get this degree and keep it moving. I'm sorry for them, because there's an opportunity for so much growth and to become a person of faith and inclusion. And if you miss that opportunity, too bad for you.
What advice would you give to another mature adult who is thinking about going back to school?
I would say this: everybody's timeline is not the same. And just because it's taken you a long time doesn't mean that it's impossible. It is not impossible. Never give up on your dreams. Believe me, you can do it. If I can do it, anybody can do it. It's just a matter of making up your mind and understanding that it is an investment in yourself. And you deserve it. You deserve the opportunity to change your life for the better. And that's what getting my degree and degrees has done and is doing for me. It's given me the opportunity to be more self-sufficient. It's given me the opportunity to grow and to just learn more about life. I think everybody should be lifelong learners, because there's so much in the world that you can learn.
So, what are you up to now?
I'm actually working while I'm in school to get my license as a licensed clinical addiction specialist so that I can be a counselor. Licensed clinical addiction, yeah. That's what I'm going to do. I'm working on that. And on October 14th, 2017, I will be doing a one-woman show at Keenan Auditorium. And the name of the show is Becoming Diva, Unpacking the Junk in the Trunk. Now, it's just like how it sounds, but let me explain Diva. Diva, for me, is an acronym. It's not because I think I'm all that. It's because I know that God is all that. Diva stands for Delivered, Inspired, Victorious, Anointed. And the show Becoming Diva is the first act will be kind of like a play where I will just tell my story of how all the junk got in the trunk, with music and poetry, and there'll be picture projections to indicate the passage of time. And it's gonna be straight, no chaser. It ain't gonna be pretty. I'm gonna tell the truth. And then after the first act, the rest of it will be more like a motivational speech where I will literally bring a trunk onto the stage and unpack the junk in the trunk. Things like low self-esteem, repressed anger, identity confusion, all of that kind of stuff. So that's what it's gonna be about. And I say this all the time: I am not doing this to make a profit. I'm doing this to make a difference, because I believe that everything that I've been through was really not for me only, but so that I can share my story and help other people realize, like I said before, if I can make it, anybody can.
Thinking about your experience in the homeless shelter, and then you want to be an addiction specialist. Like, you've been in the middle of it. Like, you've seen it up close and personal. So
yeah,
it's interesting how, the things we go through in life all kind of lead us to where we're going and finding our purpose.
And it's so interesting because now I work at the Department of Social Services, where I deal with a lot of people who are dealing with that. And when I tell them, I know what you're going through, it's not just saying, I know what you're going through, trying to make somebody feel better. I can literally tell them, I know what it's like to be trying to climb up on a daggone flimsy bunk bed on the top bunk when you as fat as I am, and every time you climb up, it feels like it's going to fall over. You can't turn over in the bed. There are bed bugs, all that kind of stuff. I understand all of that now. And I believe that God has a way of creating a serendipitous meeting between preparation and opportunity. And I didn't understand that that was preparation for me, because I was mad. I'm like, how you, God, what you mean? But then I experienced trusting God in a way that I never had before. I experienced my faith grew by leaps and bounds. I am the Incredible Hulk of faith now because of that experience. So while it wasn't the most pleasant thing in the world, I wouldn't trade it for anything, because I would not be who I am right now if I had not had that experience.
So where can we find you online? Do you have a website?
Yes, I have a website, www.diva, the number 2de.com. Diva2, like attitude, only Diva2. And on that, you can actually find some of my radio show. Did I mention that? I do have an inspirational radio show that comes on Coast 97.3 in Wilmington at 5:40 a.m. Monday through Friday, and Saturday at 6 a.m. It's called Morning Coffee with Diva, and it is an inspirational show with just an inspirational vitamin, which is just a scripture and commentary. And I do that every day. It's been a year and a half now since I've been doing that. Yeah. And also you can catch me on Instagram, DIVA, the number 2DE, and just my first and last name on Facebook.
Well, thank you so much for chatting with me. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you for even wanting to hear all my craziness, because you know how I am.
I love your craziness.
Well, thank you, because it's too late for me to change. So
no, we wouldn't want you to change. We love you just the way you are. All right. Well, it was lovely speaking to you.
Bye. Love you.
If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, comment. If you have any questions or any topics that you'd like to hear me chat about, feel free to leave them in the comment section below, and I will definitely read it and respond. I think that's it. I will see you soon. Bye.